Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And I do want to welcome you to the channel wherever you are tuning in from around the world today. Thanks for watching. The title of today's show is this alt season? Is this alt season? We're going to answer that question, a whole bunch more as well. But before we do that, smash the like button. This does help get this channel out to more people, and of course does help support the channel, as does your wonderful comments that you take the time to write. I take the time to read them and respond. So first of all, let's have a quick look at the alt season indicator. Now, this is a little bit of a misleading indicator, and I'll tell you why. Because by the time we actually get here to alt season, which was, we peaked at the 5th of December, that's when alts tumbled down and lost a huge amount of their value, okay? So this is why this particular chart has to be interpreted in a way that is going to make sense, okay? And let me interpret it for you. This is the time that you would be buying your altcoins down here when it's Bitcoin season, when Bitcoin dominance is topping out. That's like a buy the dip opportunity for altcoins. And when it's up here is the time you should be offloading, which is why it doesn't stay up there for very long, because it's already peaked. And you can see the alts that have been absolutely crushing it. Sui, one of the ones that I gave at $2.10, absolutely has smashed it. And Tau, again, one of the other ones that I have been given in the Discords, the Tribal Trades Discord, and also on the Stocks with Josh Discord as well. And we had a great live trading session yesterday in the Tribal Trades Discord. Entries on Tau at $412. Absolutely amazing. And of course, Tau shot all the way up to 433, maybe even a little bit higher there. And of course, the entry that we got, $412, we got that 3 times during the trading session. So there are 3 blocks of profit there while we were able to trade that, and of course got in that beautifully there. So if you're interested about the Tribal Trades Discord, these were some of the trades that we got in. And of course, these were actually yesterday's. These were yesterday's trades here that were given at 6:03 in the morning. In fact, on Wednesday, the Tau at 364. The Tau at 364, and Tau got all the way up to, what did it get up to? All the way up to $450, okay? So absolutely smashed that trade. So even if you'd gotten in Tau on Wednesday at 364, Sui at $3.34, that got all the way up to 397. And then yesterday gave Bitcoin, current price was 96,900. Look at my target number 2 at 104. Hello, somebody, right on the button, nailed it absolutely to the exact mark of 104. In fact, not only did it get there once, it is rejecting there twice at $104,000. You can see that right there on the button there. It made that target to the top there at 104. So that was given in the Discord. And then, of course, some of the other targets we had of Sui 372 to 397. Let's have a quick look at the Sui trade there and where we're going with that one there. The Sui trade, look at that, at bang on 397. In fact, it's at $3.97 right this second, right this moment. It's at that level there as well. And then, of course, some of these other trades here that played out. Ondo went above $1, so that hits a target there. And then, of course, Salana absolutely was a smashing trade yesterday. Gave that in the Discord at 154, and then gave it again at 157 as well a second time. I'll show that in a moment there. Here it is here. Salana, watch the 20 EMA on the weekly. This is currently at 157. If Salana breaks out above this level, bulls will be control and should be a nice breakout. My initial target would be $180. And so let's look at what Salana has done here. So where's the breakout? The breakout that I gave there at 157. It's now 158, but yesterday it was 157, right there. And look what happened. And it got up initially through our first few targets of 168 and 171. And I do still expect this to get up to the 200-day moving at 180. Now, if you're still looking to get into Salana and you feel like, oh, I'm late, but I want to get in, where would be some entries? There is some levels at 171, 168, and 169. So 171, 169, and 168. Of course, we have levels to the downside there again. And if we just and then of course 175. So you could take it on the break of 175. This would be the last place that I would recommend taking any trade, unless it's like a swing or a scalp trade, would be at the 200-day moving average. So absolutely nailed that trade. What did I say? Once it breaks above this level, it's going to go and it's going to take off. What was the exact words that I used there? The bulls will be in control and should be see a nice breakout. That's exactly what has happened. Also gave a great trade on Bonk. There is some possible entries there still on Bonk as well. Let's have a quick look at the Bonk trade and see where we can possibly get in there with Bonk. Okay, so I gave that trade at 18. There you go again, breaking that 200-day. And I actually did our whole trading session was actually on the 20 EMA, and you can see all those trading sessions that I do here. Once you join the Discord, you get access to all of our archive trainings that are in here. The EMA trading method, that's what we talked about yesterday. And we have live sessions Tuesdays and Thursdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Saturdays twice monthly, so every week. Of course, the EMA trading method, and then of course the recording is usually available within an hour or two afterwards. So sometimes you can still catch some of those trades. The Tau trade, you still could have caught that. So the EMA trading method is in there, and that's what we talked about. And then we have all the archive live trading in there as well, and the you can see we've done a lot on 14, and then these were also live tradings, but sometimes when we do some extensive teaching in there, as we did, we made money and we learned, okay? And so that's what has made these sessions so powerful and wonderful. There is we can take trades, and while we're, when we take profit, while we're waiting for the trade to come back to our area of entry, I am there teaching on principles, and answering questions. I think yesterday, I feel like there was about 50 or 60 questions that I answered during the live trading session with me, as well as we did all the teaching on the EMA method. And what I taught about is when you see it bust through either the 20 EMA on the daily or the weekly, usually there is an explosive move. And that's what we saw at Bonk. So where could we see a possible re-entry for Bonk if we were looking somewhere here? If you've got the 50 EMA, on the daily time frame there at 20, that's 4 zeros and a 20, okay? If we break the 200-day moving average on Bonk, which is sitting at around 22 at the moment, that would definitely be, 23.8, 4 zeros, 23.8. That could be another area to get in. That would be the kind of the last one for, to buy at these lower levels. Otherwise, you'd be looking at short swings or scalps, because I do think we're in the midst of having a nice breakout here. And so you can see there, so that would be the levels there, either a break of the 200-day moving average. That's if we don't come back to this 20. There's also an opportunity to get back in 18, 4 zeros, 18, 2.8. Is the other area there. And then we just quickly check, but on the daily time frame, there is an entry at 1966. If you're born in 1966, give me a shout out, but there is a possible entry there at 1966. So you can see the levels there are all built beautifully there for you. Entries at 20, 1966, and at 1828. 1828, sorry, it's 1970. No, I thought it was at 1966. So sorry, you 1966ers. If you're born at 1970, give me a shout out. I don't think anybody's born in 1828. 1828, 1970, and 2077, 2077. That's with 4 zeros in front. And of course, if we don't come back and retest any of those areas there at all, and we just continue to shoot up, 2381 would be that last entry there for Bonk that we gave. So you can see those are all the entries that were given there and the targets to the upside, given a couple of trades there. This was yesterday, given at 6:03 a.m. in the morning, and they have absolutely crushed those trades. So where could we see Bitcoin going from here? Let's just do a quick look back into Bitcoin. We do have support for Bitcoin at 102,000. So there is a Fibonacci level at 102,000. So coming back to 102,000, obviously is okay, and that could be an entry for a short swing. I'm not looking at buying any more Bitcoin. I added at 70s, in the 70s and in the low 80s, as I've shared previously, but you could take a quick swing trade from 102,150. So that could be a level just around there. And then also the next level down is going to be 99,500. So that would put us, a retest of that level. So that wouldn't be unusual for us to come back and retest. And look, even I think we could come back to that 97,900,000 level there as well. And I would think that would be, I would want to see that level hold there. Of course, if we were to lose that level, then we could really come back to that 92,000 level, or down there to 90, or come back to 95. So those are the levels to the downside for Bitcoin: 1 to 99,500, 97,900, and then if we could come back all the way to this 20 EMA on the daily time frame. There, 20 EMA on the daily time frame is sitting at about 95,000 at the moment. And the 200-day moving average is slowly creeping up. That's down at 91,000. And I wouldn't be surprised that we have a retest of that at some point, but you can see how much it's moving up each time. By the time it retests, Bitcoin could be up at 96, 97, 98. So that's something just to keep an eye on there. And remember, we are going to have a golden cross. That is going to happen as long as Bitcoin continues to move to the upside. I did talk about that gold cross yesterday. If you haven't checked that out, my video from yesterday, please check that out. Generally, what happens when we do have a golden cross, there is, obviously, it's a little bit of a lagging indicator. That's why everybody's jumping in before we have the golden cross. But then usually we will have a bit of a pullback into the 50-day moving average wherever that does happen to be. And we could think that that's probably at least going to be a lot higher. And we don't know when we're going to get a retest into it. But let's have the golden cross first, see when it happens and what price Bitcoin is before taking a look at when that could possibly retest into that. Now we're going to go to the yellow brick road, of course. We're just going to follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick road. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. And you can see that there is liquidity building up below. I wouldn't be surprised if the market maker came back. Like I said, a retest of that 102 or $100,000 level would be completely normal, in my opinion. I don't think there'd be an issue. There is quite a lot building up down there at 93,000. That would be some correction, by the way. And I'm not saying that would happen anytime soon, and we may not come and get that until a bear market as well. We just need to be aware of that. Just because it's there doesn't mean it's going to be tagged right away. And if we just keep zooming out, I feel like the market makers are going to want to continue to take and get all of this liquidity upside first, 107 and 110,000. That's what I would do if I was the market maker. I would want to keep pushing up to this level before having any of a kind of a pullback. But like I said, that doesn't mean that we can't have a pullback a little bit, down to that 100,000 or even that $98,000 level as well. So that's all we have time for today. Thanks for tuning in. Of course, if you want to join the Discord, there are links below in the description. You might need to click the more button. That will pop out. The Tribal Trades Discord link is there. One Discord to rule them all. I'd love to see you in there. A bunch of new people jumped in yesterday just in time for the live trading session there, which was very profitable. And of course, also for the wonderful crypto plays and stocks plays as well that I gave in the Discord. Tons of wins in the win section. I love to see people winning. That's why I do what I do. And of course, I'm also in the Stocks with Josh Discord. There's also links below in the description there where I share education, insights, some of my trade setups, resources, and of course, entertainment, because this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is for education and entertainment purposes only. Are you not entertained? Okay. And so until I see you in the next episode, or until I see you in the Discord, happy trading.